Please welcome Marcus Carbon from Laronet.
L'Aéronef. It's
Yeah,
a French
thank you.
name. Excuse my French.
And Matthias Pfeffl from Spoon Agency. Thanks for coming, guys. And I would like you to say a few words about what you do on a day-to-day basis, and also what brought you to do this. You're very passionate about music, Marcus, and your job and the live industry, and it would be great to hear where it's coming from.
So hello everyone, I am Marcus and I'm coming from France, from a venue called L'Aéronef in a city in the north of France, Lille. There I am the general secretary and I am in charge of creation and also booking some emerging bands. And one of the reasons why I'm here, it's because I'm also part of the steer committee of Live Europe. It's a network I'm going to talk about that can help emerging bands to travel all around great venues in Europe. That's it.
Just in a few words, Live Europe is a network of clubs.
Of venues, in fact.
Yes.
You have some a venue in Portugal, and it's the capacity is around 400, and there are some huge venues like Rock Hall in Luxembourg, and they are up to 5,000, I think.
Mm. And if you don't know, in Hungary, A38 is the part of Live Aid. And,
it's the Live Europe.
I said Live
member.
Aid.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Matthias, can you please tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Matthias from the Viennese-based booking agency Spoon Agency. A little bit about myself. I make music my whole life, like playing in bands and stuff, and always was interested in the life behind the curtain, so to say, like in the backstage business. And actually wanted to study drums. Didn't get in, unfortunately, in the university. So the next best thing would be economics. So I studied economics, and I was ready to get into an internship at a big booking firm. But then COVID happened, and like did a short detour at a media company. And after that, I saw the job offer for a booking agent, or actually a production assistant at Spoon Agency, and got the job in 2022. So I'm relatively new, full-time in this music business. Did 2 years of pre-production of shows, and since late 2024, I'm a full-time booking agent at Spoon Agency. We're a small team of 4 people, 2 main bookers and 2 people doing the pre-production of the shows. We work with a lot of Austrian artists, a lot of emerging Austrian artists, but also bigger artists as well, and some artists from around the globe, like mostly Europe, but mostly Germany and UK and Italy and stuff. So we're doing the concerts for them exclusively in Austria. And when we work with Austrian artists, we also do Austrian concerts and maybe Germany, Switzerland, but often work with partner agencies where they book the shows outside of Austria. Yeah.
Great. So you know a lot about 2 huge territories and beyond as well, but France and the GAS, I mean Germany, Austria, Switzerland, are also a huge live market. France is a little bit, I don't know, it's a different case in many ways, because it feels like, to me, and just from my experience or the network I talk to, it feels a little bit harder for an international band to kind of like break into or set foot, because the domestic market is so strong and the interest in domestic artists is so huge. How do you feel that? Is that the wrong view, or there's something to it?
I think it's not so difficult for a band coming from another country to come in and play at in France. That's not a real problem. The governments always told us, you have to speak French, or the people, as I am, don't know how to speak English. So you have to speak French, but it's not true. I think that you can speak any language and come to France, and you are going to be welcome. No problem to perform in bars and venues and festivals. No problem. In fact, when you are telling this, I'm wondering, you're talking about Belgium, because Belgium, it's so difficult to play there at the French band. It's a very small country, but you can find a guitarist on every street. So it's quite difficult to go there. The same thing, but it's not Europe anymore. The same things to go and play in the UK. I think it's quite difficult to go there.
Okay, and now that traveling has become a lot more expensive and a bit more difficult, how do you see this landscape in France, the live landscape? Are there more gigs, less gigs? What about the clubs, venues? Are they healthy and opening up or closing down, and the few good ones are staying? What would your report be of the French live scene?
In fact, I think it's the same thing for everyone. Everything is more and more expensive. Traveling is expensive. The bands are expensive. So the small venues are closing. The bar cannot book emerging band anymore because they have to pay for them, and it's expensive because it's not. You cannot play for free in France. It's not allowed. You can, but it's not allowed. So everything is getting very, very expensive.
Sorry to stop you. You just said an interesting thing before the panel, that there's a minimum fee an artist has to get in France.
Yeah, in France, I have to pay as a venue each member on stage. And the minimum I have to pay is 180 euros. You are going to receive half of this in your pocket. So if you want to play in France, come as a duo. It's gonna be cool. If you are a lot of people on stage, it's gonna be very, very expensive. That's how it works in France, and I think it's not the same thing in the other countries.
No. Has anyone played in France?
You will. No problem. Just have to ask me.
Yeah. What about Austria and the German territories? How do you feel about the club scene and the venues and getting there as a foreign artist?
The club scene gets more difficult from year to year, I guess. Clubs are closing, and there are no clubs getting built or opened up. Like, for example, in Vienna, this is a huge city with 2 million inhabitants, and we have a few smaller clubs with a capacity of 150 to 300. But there are only like 2 or 3 clubs that have a capacity of 800 to 1,000, and after that it's 3,500, one club, and the biggest one is the Viennese Stadthalle with approximately 15,000, but that's it. So bigger international artists play. They often do like 2 shows in Vienna Stadthalle, but I think it would be good to have an even bigger venue. They're talking about it all the time to build this, but I think it had to be finished this year or last year, and they didn't even begin with the building of the new Stadthalle. The question was
just to give us a general overview of like what the live scene is in Germany or Austria, and how likely it is for an artist to get there. What are the best ways to get there?
I think the best way to get a show in Austria is through a local promoter, if you know any, or through a booking agency. Like us, we do not only book shows in whole of Austria, but we also do promote our own shows in Vienna, for example. And I think that's the best way for an artist to come to Austria, because often you don't know the venues which fits for you as a band, and a local business partner can help you with that.
And where do you see the booking in the context of promotion, the wider sense, and the building of an artist's career? Do you look for bands that are a little bit established or somewhat established or have some kind of promotion going on around that gig?
I mean, it depends. It depends if I like the music, but as you said, like it's good to have a promotion that's going on right now. That you see, okay, there is a fan base. Maybe they have played in Vienna before, but if there is no promo going on at all, it can be really, really difficult to get an audience in Vienna as well.
And are you the type who take chances with unknown bands or little-known bands and try to promote them?
Not that often, but as I said, if I get the music or I listen to the music and the first thing I would say, okay, oh my God, this is great, I will definitely think about it and book a show. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
You have a lot of experience with emerging bands.
Yeah.
And you take that from a different perspective because that's one of the biggest ethos and mission of Live Europe too.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission is to book emerging band coming from other country, and we receive some euros from the EU to help us to do this. In fact, how it's working, we can book any bands we want. We have to choose them, and we receive per act something like 900 euros per act. It can change because we have to separate the envelope for each venue every year. So the price is almost 900 euros. We can book 5 bands, emerging bands, coming from a country, not 6. 5 are going to count. For me, it's very easy to book some Belgian bands, no problem. But if I book 6, it will not count. And I have to book at least bands coming from 5 different countries per year. And the other things, we have to define what is an emerging band. So how it works right now, because it changed during the many years of Live Europe. Now we as a booker, you have to go on Spotify and look what is the first work released, and it can be a shitty single in 2015, and you're not an emerging band anymore. So be careful to erase old stuff.
It has to be less than 5 years, correct?
Less than 5 years, exactly. So it's cool to have old stuff, but put it on Bandcamp, and that's it.
And what is the best way for artists to use this opportunity?
It's really cool from the EU to help the artist to get booked. In fact, that's the main thing I have to point. And you can go right now on the liveeurope.eu website. You'll see that we are 25 countries and 25 venues, and you can get all the contacts of the bookers. You can send them your stuff, and they can do what they want with this. They can book you tomorrow if you want to. You just have to send them the information about what you are doing, and if you are on tour, it's going to be more easy to get booked, and you have to tell them, and that's it. That's the magic of Live Europe. You can get in touch with 25 different venues at the same time, and when a venue booked a very cool band, we see each other, the bookers and the workers on the venue, 3 times a year, and we talked about what are the gig we had, the best ones, what are the one I have to book next year.
Do you see that the venues are picking up the ones that worked well in other ones, so they kind of like get
They
to
can
play
really
around.
they can really do what they want, no problem. But it's always cool to see how it worked in a special venue.
It's been going on for 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. Live Europe.
Live Europe, 12.
12. Sorry. Okay, 12 years. So you have a lot of experience
Yeah,
with this.
that's it.
Can you share some stories that shows the power of it?
It can be very helpful. I remember having a band called Idols in my club for less than 100 person. I have the same story with Lambrini Girls, and she played just in front 40 French drunk people, and it was amazing, really, really. So we have a lot of stories like that because, and thanks to Live Europe, it was not so expensive for us to book them, and it's part of the history, I have to say. And it's always like that. We book emerging band, and suddenly 2 years after, they are playing on huge festivals.
Is there one in Austria as well?
Yeah, Posthof
Posthof.
Yeah.
in Linz, but
Okay.
not in Vienna. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice guys, really.
Do you work with them in
Yeah.
some ways? Yeah.
Yeah, just emailed them yesterday, for example. So Austria is not that big of a country. It's like same size as Hungary, I guess, same citizens. So it only takes 1 to 2 years to know the biggest or the relevant players. And yeah, we work a lot of them. Because Linz, I think that's also one of the few venues there are where they have a capacity of 1,200 people. Yeah.
And when it comes to a new band, going abroad and playing, what do you think right now could be considered a successful gig? Like how many people, or what kind of, just to manage the expectations when a band goes around these days and let's say goes to Lille and you help them to get a gig. What is the realistic expectations, not just money-wise, but in terms of impact?
In terms of impact, if you do a very good show, you'll come back the year after. In fact, we like to keep in touch with the band we booked. And if it was great, and if the audience is still talking about this, I said, we've seen a wonderful band, we'd like to see this band again. We want the band to come back in the venue, not in the other one, because we want to really keep in touch and make the audience grow. That's what we did with Lambrini Girl. First time they came in the club, and they played second time in the main hall, and it was sold out. And next time, they are not going to play at my venue anymore, because it's going to be very expensive, and a lot of people want to see them at the same time.
Yeah, I think for a band playing in a new country or playing in front of a few hundred people or only 10 to 15 people, I can speak for myself because I also play drums in a band and played a few shows this year, and it's so different. Sometimes like a few hundred people, it looks great from the stage, but the people aren't really listening and talking to each other. And then you play in front of 20 to 30 people. And after the show, the people come to the merch and talk to you and say how great of a time they had. So often these smaller crowds and people are really listening to the concert do make much of a difference to you, and you get a better feeling after the concert than a few hundred people that talk between the show.
Yeah. You mentioned that the club you are also working for, you really put a lot of emphasis into creating or cultivating the audience around it and making sure that, when you have a stamp on it that they play
now
there?
it's a quality.
How do you do that?
It's a quality label, in fact. 12 years of existence of Live Europe gigs. And when people are talking and said, did you see Idols last year? You know, it was a Live Europe band. Now the people, when they see this stamp on an event, they know that they're gonna see a new band, and it will probably be one of the most exciting bands in the next years. That's a real quality label, really. So it's very useful for a venue to be in part of this network, really.
And do you do this work yourself, like cultivating the audience, or as a promoter or as a booker, or you look for venues that kind of have this quality where you take lesser chance, I guess, or risk?
Yeah, I think if you book a tour for a band, you try to get them, for an emerging band, for example, you try to book them in venues where you know the venue has a great reputation. People who go to this venue know that the booker of the venue has a good taste in music, and they have an audience that often comes to shows, also to shows that they don't know the band. So we try to get them a new audience, booking them a show at venues that we know are doing a good work, so that they can grow steadily or organically.
Yeah. Do you work with festivals as well, or
sometimes, and it's not a real big part of the job, really.
Okay.
They are doing what they want. They just pay a bunch of money for huge acts, and that's it. They are not really taking care of emergent acts. Some festivals, I can talk about Primavera in Barcelona. They sometimes book some emerging artists, but it's a really small part of the bands playing there.
Yeah, so when it comes to France, maybe it's easier or a wiser strategy to find venues and smaller clubs.
Yeah, it's more simple. And I'm just thinking about a tip that gave me some French acts. If you want to tour in another country, you have to know what are the local bands of this country, and get friend with them. The tip number one is to have friends. That's how it usually works, because they know how and where you'll be able to play, and you can play with them. And so you have to get in touch with bands coming from other country, the same kind of music, the same genre, and they can give you some nice tips to be able to play in their country, and it works.
Yeah. And also for touring in another country, I guess really helpful is to try to get a slot at a small to middle-sized festival, to reach an audience that you've not reached before, and play there, and maybe do a tour a few months after that, a solo headline tour, to reach this audience again that already saw you at the festival. And after that, maybe you can sell some tickets and play some, have better negotiations for bigger festivals and so on. But yeah, it's really a kind of patient thing to do, to just get the smaller slots, like at 2 p.m, and play some support slots as well in the bigger cities, and grow. And
you can hear it from a lot of places that it's becoming harder and harder to bring people in to clubs and venues to see shows. And do you experience that, or do you feel that it's becoming more difficult? And if you do, how do you mitigate it?
I find it really random if it comes to smaller acts. Like, there are some smaller acts that sell out shows really fast, but then there are some acts that only sell a few tickets. What I experienced in the last 1.5 years is that smaller venues and smaller bands are doing okay, but when it comes to like a capacity of 500 to 600, then it gets a little bit more difficult to keep this ticket sales going and to grow to, I don't know, 1,000. Thing.
It's more unpredictable with that.
Yeah.
And do you think people are buying in advance, like pre-sales are going better, or you can, never know and expect them to show up this day?
It depends of the artist. If it's a big, not so big artist, someone coming from TikTok or something like that, if it's on TikTok, it has to be very famous. So I have to book. I have to buy my ticket quite early, and I can spend more than 100 euros to see someone just sing a single, and I do not know anything else of this artist. This is the kind of audience that's growing. It's becoming like this, but it's part of our job at the venue to get the audience curious and still be curious. For me, when I was young, because I was young, it was really cool to be the first to know this band. That's something I really always loved. It's to be the one that knows what the others do not know. So I'd like my audience to get this kind of feeling.
And what is the age group of your audience? Is it getting older, or you can manage to get the young
It depends.
kids as well?
2 weeks ago, we had Johnny Marr, and it's a guitarist of The Smiths, if you don't know. It was people with gray hair everywhere. And we have some hip-hop French gigs with auto-tune on the voice, and it's all a crowd from young, very young people. It depends of the venue and what what you book, in fact.
And in the clubs or the gigs that you book, do you see an age difference?
Yeah, I think we work with a lot of bands that tend to have a more younger audience, I guess. Ranging from the early 20s to mid or end of the 30s. But we also work with artists like Kruder and Dorfmeister, like this DJ duo, or Ludovico Einaudi from Italy. And yeah, then the audience obviously is a bit older. So, but it's really interesting to see, because Sodal, a band that I book, is a young 22-year-old female artist that plays, I guess, indie folk, rock, and I thought it was gonna be an audience that was really young, because she's young, but it tend to be a lot of older people in the audience that really dig the rock music she's doing. Like, maybe it reminds them of the 60s, 70s, Jimi Hendrix stuff. But yeah, it's really difficult to tell what the audience of the artist is going to look like. Yeah,
but the audience is really changing. It's a nightmare to see young people seeing a gig like this,
yeah,
with a fucking phone
phones, yeah,
like this, and they do not clap at the end, because it's not so easy to clap. So the gigs are really different, and it depends of what is the audience. But it's a real nightmare.
And how do you think the artists deal with the vibe, being just...
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how to react to this kind of audience. But it's really, really strange.
Yeah, I think I can say something to that. We had this artist called Edwin Rosen, who's really a hype artist. He sold out 2 shows in Vienna with approximately 1,600 people in 10 minutes or so, and the audience really, really young. And of course, they always had their cell phones out and were filming. And I mean, he's used to that with all this tour, and he had this thing where he said, for one song, just put away all your phones and enjoy this one song. And he said on stage, or on Instagram, I can remember, that it was such a different vibe at the show, that the people were really enjoying the music. Yeah, so I think you can cope in that way. If it's too much for you, just say, okay, it's okay to film, but for one song, just put them away, and then you can film again if you want.
Yeah, it's difficult because you're also, the success of the band also depends on these moments being captured and shared, and so it's a strange feedback loop, I guess. But it feeds into the success of the act.
Yeah, it's all about to say to your friends, "I've been there." That's buy a T-shirt. That's better.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so what do you think merch? It seems like a bigger and bigger part of the income.
30 euros for a T-shirt. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want to say about merchandising.
Yeah, but I guess it's the best income for an artist besides the live show, because with music you don't make any money anymore. Streaming services doesn't pay anything. So these are the 2 main incomes for the artist. So yeah, merchandise and ticketing sales. And yeah, I understand why T-shirts are expensive. I mean, I wouldn't sell a T-shirt for 40 euros, but I guess 30 euros is an okay price for most of the people. Yeah.
I want to fight against this. I want free T-shirts.
Are you involved in that in any ways? How bands are, what kind of merch they're doing, or that's more like
not really.
thing?
That's
yeah.
Depends of the style. If when I book a heavy metal band, the merchandising is so big. Really, they are sending everything they have in their van. I think it's very important for them. And when you book a hip hop act, they do not sell anything.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
But I think some artists are doing a great job at merchandising, just not only selling shirts or vinyls, but also producing merchandising that fits their brand. Like, for example, a band we worked with sold perfume. They did their own perfume, and this sold really well. With the band called that they sell socks, for example. So I think that's
socks.
Not a fan of it, huh?
It works more than a CD. Who still have a CD player in the house by the hand? Four CD players.
Good ratio.
Bands don't invest in CDs anymore. I think it's not the thing to do. And don't send this to the venues. Sometimes we receive CDs. It's impossible to listen to this. It's more easy to get a link or a QR code or something like that.
Yeah, of course. And we talked a little bit about TikTok stars who, without a lot of experience, live experience or zero experience, get into this kind of loop that there's so much interest they have to go and play live. And do you work with such artists? And if you do, what kind of tactics do you have for them to get over the stage fright?
You want me to talk about TikTok artists? You want to make me cry? In fact, yeah, it's, as I told you, it's working in the bedroom, having a nice single, put it on TikTok, and after you have to play in a huge festival. it's working like that now, and it's a shame, really, because the gig is always shitty. I've never seen a good one. Never. Sometimes, probably.
Yeah, I've seen this year for the first time for me that two bands from Austria that put out a TikTok that got really viral, and they had like the song wasn't even out, and they already had a management and a booking agency and the label and stuff, and like everybody sees this and sees the hype and just wants to grab onto it, like be the first one to have this band. But I tend to be a little bit more cautious to not like do it right away. Often then it's too late, to be honest, like then they're gone. But I think for me personally, I would book an artist that has a little bit of life experience, where I've been to a show and convinced myself that this is a great band. And for these TikTok hype bands, I think the best strategy is to play a lot of live shows to get a live experience, but not play the first offer you get, like for this big festival, a good slot or like a late night slot. I think it's better to stay humble and play a few support shows and play smaller mid-sized festivals, and after that you have a live experience, and you can really present yourself a lot better on a bigger stage than just going out there and doing.
But
stuff.
often it wasn't their first idea to go big on TikTok and then without experience play. But I guess it's the recipe sometimes, right? That you have your songs on Spotify or all the streamers, and then use TikTok to maybe get some traffic over there. But then sometimes it overshoots and it just becomes too quick.
If they go quickly on stage, we had this kind of experience. The band is becoming very famous, and they are doing just a tour, and after we do not hear about this person anymore. Yeah. It comes up, but it goes down very quickly also.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's also a little niche to teach how to play live.
And it's, in France we have this kind of music, with like hip hop, and there are just one person on stage plus a DJ, and they are getting famous very, very, very quickly, and they feel like they are very famous, and they ask us so many things. They are two on stage, but there are 20 with 2 lawyers with them, 2 lawyers, and friends and grandma and everything, and they want me to give them 20 bottles of vodka, and you're just here to play 30 minutes. So it's becoming like that, and it's a real nightmare. You have to keep your foot on the ground.
Yeah, that's strange for sure. And when it comes to Germany, do you have much experience in Germany as well, or mainly in Austria?
Mainly in Austria, but a little bit in Germany as well, yeah.
Is that very different? Just because it's such a huge country, quite rich in many ways, and
like with the TikTok artists, or
no, just in general, playing there and trying to get some foothold in Germany with live gigs.
No, I guess it's very similar. I mean, it's a 10 times bigger of a market, so you have a lot more venues to play and a lot more festivals as well. But I guess in theory it's the same in Germany than in Austria. You have to play the smaller mid-sized festivals, play some support shows in the cities, and then grow organically after that. Yeah.
But still, staying at the emerging artists, when do you think someone should start going out and finding international gigs? Should that play into it how, let's say, how the domestic market is going, and when it's stable, then let's branch out, or it can never be too early? When do you think
It
someone
can never be too early for me, really. If you are in touch with someone, with another band from another country, and if you can travel there, and if it's not very expensive for you, if you can do this kind of experience, it's always useful, always, to sing in front of someone that will not understand what you are saying. It's an experience, and you have to feel it. In fact, it's always useful.
Yeah, I think so too. But it can be very difficult if you don't have any friend bands who take you on tour with them, just to play your own headline shows. That can be very exhausting, I think. And if you don't know any bands from another country, I think then it would be better to play a few domestic shows, to get a grasp of it, to have a good live show, and maybe get played by then in the radio in another country, or doing some social media ads there. I think that would be the better strategy if you're going on tour alone.
Yeah, but finding a band you can play with, let's say, is that?
Yeah, that's really, really useful. The main point is to get friends, in fact, and have some beer. And that's
Beer
it.
is the key point in the booking.
That's the key point, of course. And if you have some nice experience, you're gonna go there again and again and again, and the audience is gonna be bigger and bigger. That's it. But the first thing you have to do is to get some friends. That's it.
Isn't there some EU support for that, to play gigs?
To get some beers, I'd
no,
like
not
to.
for that. To play gigs together with, let's say, you find a band from another country and you play in.
In fact, I don't think so. It could be a very cool idea.
There used to be something in Hungary for that.
Like
15,
like
20
a
years ago. a long time
Godfather
ago.
in each country. It can be a very nice idea.
Yeah.
In fact.
Yeah.
I think showcase festivals are a big step for emerging bands, because you meet a lot of other artists from other countries, and maybe they already have a fan base in their home country, and you change roles. Like once you're with that band in their country as a support, and the other way around. So that makes a lot of sense to do these showcase festivals. And also, of course, a lot of industry people are there, festival bookers.
And it's the place to be when you begin. It's to get booked in a showcase festival.
Which ones in France do you recommend the most?
We
Mama?
have many. There is Mama in Paris, but it's not a good one because you have to pay to play there. There is Les Transmusicales de Rennes. It's in Bretagne on the west side. It can be really cool, and we have one in Lille that is happening right now, and I'm not there, but it's cool to be here.
And are they like mainly for the domestic market or for international as
International,
well? Okay.
yeah. Also local bands, and they mix them with emerging artists coming from other country. So it's very, very useful to get in touch with other one, and you are playing in front of professionals that are gonna book you. It's not like playing at a huge festival. There is no professional there. So showcase festival, that's the main point.
And in, I guess many of the people know of the Waves in Austria, and of course Reeperbahn in Germany. Are there other ones that are maybe smaller and a bit more intimate? And
Mil in Portugal, in Lisbon.
Okay.
It's a wonderful festival. It's in Lisbon.
Yeah.
So they win, of
Okay.
course. This is a very nice one, and it's coming bigger and bigger. The venue there that take care of this, it's Music Box, and they have a new venue. They are building a new one where the festival is right now. So have a look at the Meal Festival. That's really great. And I'm thinking about Ment
Yeah.
Festival in Slovenia.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been there, probably.
And we talked a lot about Ship
We went
Festival.
at Ship Festival, exactly. That's why I'm here, because I met some nice people in Ship Festival.
But I mean, there are some other smaller showcase festivals in Germany, like Nuremberg Pop or CO Pop in Cologne, and also I think Lithuania Music Week, or I don't know was it exactly called. But I mean, I guess there is in every big city in Europe, there's a good showcase festival where mostly all of Europe comes together, and yeah, it's a people's business. It's what it is, and you have to get in touch with the people and talk, go for a beer, and have a good time.
Yeah. Are you signing bands to the agency
To what?
to represent them for booking?
What?
Spoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are signing bands. Like, I don't know what the question exactly
Well,
is.
the context is that are you looking for new bands? Is there a way
Yeah.
to, get your eyes on new bands that might be good for the markets you're working on?
Of course, we're always looking for new bands. I mean, as I said, we are only 2 people in the booking department, and we work with I think 70 bands. Unfortunately, not all bands are on tour right now, but I think we are signing like 1 or 2 bands a year, and we receive a lot of emails, cold emails, but also recommendations from labels and stuff, and from other booking agencies from Europe, and yeah. So
And how do you decide whether to sign someone or not?
yeah, that's really difficult because for me it's all about the music. Like, I don't read the bio or stuff. I just open up the link that was sent in the mail, YouTube, Spotify, or something, and I guess in the first 30 seconds I know if it fits my interest or not, and if I'm interested, I'm gonna write back, say, hey, do you want to meet up? Do you want to do a Zoom call? And tell me more about this project. What are your strategies, or what are your plans for the future? Do you have unreleased music that you can send me? And yeah.
And do you have specific genres or styles you go for?
I think for Spoon, it's mostly indie and pop, but we also work with punk artists and a little niche with neoclassical music. But for my taste, it would be indie pop, indie folk, something.
Have you worked
like
with
that.
any Hungarian artists?
No, I don't think so. No, but I'm only like 1.5 years into full-time booking, so I have a lot of bands
Not here
before
to
me.
put you on the spot, just wondering. Like,
Yeah,
whether you guys-
no, unfortunately not. No.
Okay. What about? I mean, you're not booking and representing bands, but the venue you're working at. What do you think their ethos is in terms of what kind of bands they like to book?
In fact, we have to book every genre, because we have some money from the government and the city and everyone. So we have to book some hardcore band and band from the young people. That's part of our job. But we are not just a rock and roll venue. That's it. We have to get aware of everything.
Do you ever see Hungarian bands going your way?
And then a band coming from here. In fact, I was in touch with Stone Sober.
Yeah. Okay. Stone Sober. Yeah.
Stone Sober.
Yeah.
I wanted them to play in December. It was for the 14th, and then I asked them for the 1st of December, and I'm waiting for the answer.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, they are here somewhere.
Let's get a beer. I'm gonna book them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Okay,
great.
great. That's very cool.
Yeah, and Lille is in such an unique position, like geographically, because it's like half an hour from Paris, right? From
It's
from
1
Brussels.
hour from Paris, half an hour from Brussels, and 1 hour and a half from London, if
Yeah.
you take the train, of course.
Yeah.
So it's very easy. If you tour around Belgium and Luxembourg, you have to come to Lille. It's a wonderful place. We have some cheese and some wine. And
There are
some
so
beer.
many Hungarians living in these cities, just promoting to them would fill up the venue. Maybe not the 2,000, but yeah. Do you guys have any questions specific to Austria or France or to these gentlemen? Anyone planning to go to Austria to play there or France in the near future?
You've seen
No?
my face, so if you want to get in touch with me.
If not, why not? Is it financial reasons maybe, or it doesn't fit the strategy? Why? What stops you from going there?
Because
No?
French are boring. That's it.
No, and what about Austria? Because it's so close also. It's
Hardships in booking.
hardships. What kind? What kind of hardships?
Because we're not even working
Mm,
well.
yeah. So you guys are not
Understand
answering.
that? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, it's like we get a lot of cold mails, and it's really difficult to decide on one. And most of the mails, to be honest, just get deleted. But yeah, as I think Annika said, it's better to have a face-to-face encounter before, and then send your music, or just don't send the music with just like, hey, Spoon Agency. But I mean, we have our names, and I feel more like personally addressed if I see my name in the mail, and tend to write back more if I have this more personal mails.
Yeah, I guess it's hard. I mean, you must get a lot of emails to help them book shows. You too, right? How do you sift through all this
I send it
noise
to my
in a way?
booker, in fact,
Okay.
because it's his job.
Yeah.
But it's always easiest to get booked if someone tells to the booker, you have to listen to this. So it can be a local band that know the bookers of the venue, and if you are recommended, that's it, by someone, it's always easier, I think. Just send an email like this with 2 links. It's not enough, I think.
Yeah, and it's always good to have a live video as well, like a semi-professional live video where the booker can see what the band is doing on stage, because you can listen to the music, but the live performance is completely different.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. You have to get a nice live video. Really, that's the main point. And a link to an audio stream, anyone. But the live video is very, very important to get booked. Very.
Are there other similar initiatives or programs in the EU that support emerging artists' tours and gigs that you know of, and complement this one maybe?
I think there is something called Live DMA, something like
DMX,
this.
yeah.
Yeah,
DMX.
but I really do not know a lot of things about them.
And do you see it's gonna go on for some time? Like, I don't know how far you can see ahead in the future.
For
Live
talking
Europe.
about Live Europe,
Yeah.
For the 4th time we are renewed
Yeah.
for 4 years. So that's very cool news. In fact, the EU give us 2.8 million for 4 years to distribute to the venues. So it's gonna be like this till 2030. And after, it's not it's not going to be Creative Europe anymore. It's going to be Agora EU, and it's something that they are still talking about right now. But I think that the amount of money for the culture is going to be doubled.
Wow.
That's a very nice news, really. Yeah. Thanks to Europe. I can say this in this country.
You're
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it's without a lot of this support, I think a lot of these meetings, at least, and these encounters wouldn't happen for sure. So there's a lot of help in that.
And I think the exporting offices in the different countries do a great job as well, because going to a showcase festival is mostly like you don't make any money. They don't pay a lot of great fees. So working together with a export office helps you cover the costs, and you get a little bit of help from them as well. Like they tend to introduce you to different people from other export offices, for example, or labels and managements, and that can help as well. I think HOTS is doing this, right?
Yeah. But it's good you're saying that, because I think a lot of people are feeling a fatigue, like getting tired of showcases and going there all the time. But perhaps if you're not going there to play, but just to network, and you get to get to know the faces and the people, that's probably more important.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have some kind of a strategy going to a showcase festival. You just can't go there and play and think that everybody's going to see you and contact you afterwards. You have to really invest time in researching and research like bookers or labels that fit your needs, and contact them beforehand, invite them to your show, and that works, I think, a lot better than just going there, playing there. Some people are in the audience, but you don't have any clue who they are, and so you have to do a lot of research beforehand.
I think there's this paradox that making music and getting your music heard in many ways, it doesn't have boundaries anymore, and the gatekeeping is just going down and down. But in the live area and bookings and festivals, of course, it's still very much up there, the gatekeeping, and and it's kind of like a mental shift for many new artists or bands, I guess, to coming from all this, I can do anything I want and be anyone I want, and no one can tell me what music I make and how I make it, and then clashing with the this side of the industry where you actually are just kind of like ignored in many cases. But
I understand it can really be frustrating for an artist to not get noticed by booking agencies. And it can also be frustrating for a booker to not get noticed by the venues for the bands that you want to book concerts for them, because you really believe in this artist, but there's still this wall of hopefully the local promoter will like this band as well and book a show for them.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be around for some time, this kind of paradox and gatekeeping in the live industry, but perhaps also it's because the most money is there to be made. So I guess it's for a reason that people are standing their grounds there. And anyways, we're getting to the end of this session. Any questions? Yes, please.
What do you think about the language thing? I mean, if as a booking manager, if you get a promo of a band, what do you prefer? If it's an English singing band or native language?
I really don't care about the language. I don't care. I do not understand English, so I'm listening to it every day. So for me, it's really not a problem. If French people only listen to French singers, it cannot be like this. Hopefully, so don't care about your language. You can speak the language you want. Really, it's quite difficult for a band to sing always in English. It can be difficult also to understand what you're saying, because you're not, as I do, I do not speak English very well. So you can go at a French band, going in Germany and making gigs just in French, and it's going to be okay. That's not, I think it's really not a problem. People just feel the music and it's going to work. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, speaking for me, I'm not a lyric guy, to be honest. I mostly listen to the to the beat and the instruments and stuff. But to be completely honest, I guess I would prefer it to be English a little bit. But if it sounds more natural with the local language and what you want to say in your music, I think it's kind of hard to put that into the English words. Then, if it's not your mother tongue, then I would definitely go with your local language and just don't care about, like, okay, I have to do it in English. I mean, for example, in Austria, before 2014, 13, everybody was doing English music, and if somebody was singing in German, everybody was okay. That's strange. That's cringe. Why do you sing in German? And then all of a sudden in 2014, two bands popped up that were doing music for a long time, but then it made a click, and everybody's doing German music right now. So there are a lot of less bands that do English music. Yeah.
Thanks for the questions, and we're gonna have to finish this session. The guys are gonna be around, and if you have any private questions, then please, I guess I can speak on your behalf with this, that they can find you and have a chat.
Yeah, at the bar.
At the bar, yeah. So thank you, and stay around. We're gonna continue with the next part, listening session.